So this video we are going to continue in English session. So those friends who needs video in English session, I want to tell that lectures are available in English also, so you can take help of this particular lecture to understand the concepts which is related to our unit number 5. Hello friends, welcome to this lecture. So in today's session we are going to discuss our unit number 5 of Ie&Ifs, which is based on infrastructure, including social infrastructure. So friends, if you are in need of a channel which provides you English videos for every units of JIB for all the subjects, then you are at the right place. To get more detail regarding these videos, kindly WhatsApp me on this number. Okay, so now let's begin our unit number 5 of Ie&Ifs, infrastructure, including social infrastructure. So I will try to explain each and every concept using example in the simplest term possible. So let's see, these are the topic we are going to discuss today. The first is what is infrastructure, what is social infrastructure. Next is infrastructure and economic development, how they are correlated. Energy, power, transport system. There are different transport system like rail, road, civil aviation. So in today's session we are going to discuss the three important topics. So before beginning this lesson, let me take you let me talk about the free daily quiz. Okay, so there is a daily quiz going on our app. So app name is JIB and CIB made simple. So in the description section you will get the link, so you can download that particular app and give the daily quiz, which is completely free. Okay, so I tell you the page number on the basis of which the quiz is conducted, and you just attempt the quiz. So this way you can boost up your preparation, and if you need any study material related to JIB, then please download our app. All the study material are available there. So now let's continue our discussion. So the first thing is infrastructure, including social infrastructure. So what is infrastructure basically? So when a country invests in building infrastructure like roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, power plant, so it helps create the necessary foundation for the economy to grow. Let's say example, let's say a government build a new roads. Okay, so new roads has been built, new bridges has been built. So in this case it allows people and goods to move more easily, which can boost business activity and stimulate economic growth, right? So now let's see the next point, that to attract more investment. So to attract more investment and speed up infrastructure development, government often try to involve private companies. So private sector involvement, right? So let's say a government want to build a new airport but does not have enough fund. So they may seek private investor who can provide the necessary capital and expertise to build and operate the airport. In return, the investor may earn profit from the airport operation, such as ticket sales and concession. Let's see the next point, that different industries or sector of infrastructure may have different sources of funding, right? So let's say a government monopoly. You can see government spending here, government monopoly. What does it mean? Like in railways, like in nuclear power. So in some case the government have complete control over the certain sector like railway and nuclear power. They provide the funding needed to build and maintain these infrastructure. For instance, government may invest building high speed railway network to improve transportation option for its citizen. Next is government spending. Okay, you can see the next point is regarding government spending. So what does it mean? Basically in other sector the government plays a dominant role in funding. Let's say for example, government may allocate significant portion of its budget to invest in education, right? So investing in education, investing in healthcare or public housing project. So government spending domination. Next is ODA. ODA means overseas development aid. Okay, that is called ODA, overseas development aid. So basically, some infrastructure project in developing country receive financial support from the international organization or foreign government as overseas development aid. So let's take an example. Suppose a foreign country, it may provide funding to build a school. So the foreign country, it may provide funding to build a school or clean water facility in a less developed nation. So this comes under ODA. ODA means overseas development aid. Now let's see the next point, that we have, that private sector investment domination. So basically, in certain sector such as telecommunication or renewable energy, private company invest their own capital to develop infrastructure. Let's take example. For example, private company invest in solar power plant. Okay, private company may invest in solar power plant and sell the generated electricity to the government or consumer. Now let's discuss NIIF. What is NIIF? NIIF stands for National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. So basically, Indian government has established the NIIF to enhance infrastructure financing in the country. You know what is NIIF? NIIF is a specialized investment fund that aims to attract both domestic and foreign investment for infrastructure project. It pulls together funds from various sources. What are the sources? Like domestic source, domestic and international investor. Okay, so some investors are domestic, some investors are international. Okay, so it pulls the resources from all these, and sovereign wealth fund. So this NIF, what it does, it utilizes these fund to finance and support the development of critical infrastructure project in India, such as highway, ports, airport, renewable energy project, etc. So this is about NIF, this is about the infrastructure, this particular slide. Let's come to the next slide, that we have infrastructure and economic development. So in this session we will see that how infrastructure is related to the economic development. The first point is that economic infrastructure. So basically, economic infrastructure refers to the essential system and network that enable economic activities to take place. So this includes things like transportation. So it includes transportation, it includes communication, and it includes utilities. Okay, so basically, economic infrastructure we are talking about. So when we have well developed infrastructure, it become easier for people and capital to move around both within the country and between different countries. For example, let's take example. So suppose if they are good road, okay, if there are good road, a good airport and communication network, it become easier for worker to commute to their workplace and for goods to be transported to different market. This mobility allow business to grow, create job opportunity and attract investment. The next point is high quality infrastructure. So what does it mean? So when we have well built and efficient infrastructure like road, ports, airport, bridges, railways, water supply, sewerage, okay, so it helps good and resource to move smoothly. Okay, so for instance, there if there are good roads, if there are good transportation network, it become easier and quicker to transport goods from factory to the market. This eliminates the delays and inefficiencies, leading to cost saving and ensuring that resources are used effectively. So now next point is infrastructure can either be hard or soft. So basically, what is hard infrastructure, what is soft infrastructure, let's talk about. So hard infrastructure refers to the physical structure, right? It refers to the physical structure and networks that are crucial for country industrial and economic development. So hard infrastructure include road, ports, airport, pipeline, etc. Okay, so it provides foundation for economic activities by enabling the movement of goods, movements of peoples and resources. Let's take example. Suppose a country need well built road. Suppose a country need well built road. Suppose a country need what? Country need well built road, well built port. So basically, these things are needed to transport good efficiently and facilitate trade. So this comes under hard infrastructure. Now we will discuss about hard and soft infrastructure in the next. So now let's talk about the soft infrastructure. Basically, soft infrastructure refers to the non-physical component. So the first point is like hard infrastructure refers to the physical component. It refers to the non-physical component. So basically these are non-physical components that support and enable economic and social activities. So these are institutions, these are services that are necessary for a well-functioning society. Example includes bank. Okay, a bank, financial institution that provide financial services, school and university that provide education, hospitals, healthcare facility. Okay, so healthcare facility, it includes medical services, law enforcement organization. Okay, that maintains law and order. So these are the different examples of soft infrastructure. Now let's talk about energy infrastructure. So this energy infrastructure is also an important component, so we'll discuss it, energy infrastructure, in detail. It includes large scale energy transmission. So we are going to discuss it, energy infrastructure basically. So it refers to the system and network that allow for the production, transmission. You can see, first of all there is a production, then after there is a transmission. Production, transmission and distribution. So first production, then transmission and then distribution of what? Of energy resources. So which type of energy resources? Like gases, like natural gas, petroleum, etc. So these are some of the resources, right? So basically it distribution of resources like electricity, natural gas, petroleum, renewable energy resources. So it includes physical infrastructure that are needed to generate, store, transport and distribute energy to the consumer. So now discuss, the first point is that energy infrastructure enable the efficient transmission of energy from where it is produced. So from where it is produced, like power plant. Okay, so production point is power plant. Okay, and natural gas field. So this is the production plant. So it enable it in energy infrastructure enable the efficient transmission from the production point to where it is consumed. Where it is consumed? So it is consumed at homes, it is consumed at industries, right? So from where it is produced to where it is consumed. So it permits large scale energy transmission from producer to the consumer. So let's take example. So for example, electricity generated in power plant needs a transmission network of power line and substation to transport it over long distance to reach home and businesses. Now let's discuss the component of energy infrastructure. So basically energy infrastructure includes various components that are crucial for production and distribution of different type of energy resource. The first is natural gas pipeline. You know, basically this is natural gas is transported through pipeline over long distances. Next is petroleum pipeline. So basically this is also this is similar to the natural gas pipeline. It is used to transport petroleum product like gasoline and diesel from refineries to distribution center. The next is a specialized coal handling facility for washing, storing and transporting coal. So coal is a major source of energy in some region and specialized infrastructure is required to handle coal efficiently. So it includes facility for washing, storing and transporting it. So these are some of the important energy infrastructure, please remember. Okay, so and also last point is renewable energy infrastructure. So basically the renewable energy refers to an infrastructure that is needed for harnessing and distributing renewable energy resources. So can you give me some example of renewable energy? Like solar, like you can talk about wind. Okay, solar, wind, hydroelectric power, these are the example of renewable energy. Now let's come to the next slide. So we are discussing about energy infrastructure. So basically energy infrastructure is essential for efficient production, transmission and distribution of various energy resources. It allows energy resources it allows energy to be transported from producer to the consumer, and it enables the management and direction uh, of energy flow. We have talked about some example. Now let's talk about renewable energy. So renewable energy and what is the India initiative. So see friends, basically India, let's talk about in perspective of India. India has made significant progress in adopting renewable energy resources. So what is the rank of India in renewable energy power capacity? It is the fourth rank. So it currently ranks fourth in terms of renewable energy power capacity. It includes wind and solar power. This means India has a substantial amount of energy generation capacity from renewable sources. So let's take example. India has large number of wind farms. Okay, so large number of wind farms are there. Okay, so large number of wind farms, and solar power plant. It produces electricity from wind and sunlight. So the country renewable energy sector has experienced rapid growth, and India is considered one of the fastest growing country in terms of adopting renewable energy source. Now the next part is that India has been making significant effort to increase its renewable energy capacity. The installed capacity refers to the total amount of energy that can be produced by renewable energy source. You see this term installed capacity. What is the meaning of this installed capacity? Basically, it means that total amount of energy that can be produced by renewable energy sources. So, how much energy renewable energy source can produce? This refers to the installed capacity. Okay. So friends, in the perspective of this installed capacity, over a specific period, India has increased its renewable energy capacity by 2.5 times. So the renewable energy capacity has increased to how much? 2.5 times. Okay. So this indicates a substantial growth in the use of solar power in India. Now let's talk about water management infrastructure. So it refers to the system and structure that are designed to manage and distribute water resource efficiently. It includes various components that support the supply of drinking water, collection and disposal of wastewater, management of drainage system. Let me talk about some example. The first is drinking water supply. So it includes the infrastructure required to provide clean and safe drinking water to communities. Next is drainage system. So what is the meaning of this drainage system? So basically these systems are designed to manage excess rainwater and prevent flooding in urban area. The next point is major irrigation system. It refers to the infrastructure such as reservoir, okay, irrigation, canals, etc., okay, that support agriculture irrigation. Next is major flood control system. So flood control infrastructure includes massive measures to manage and mitigate the impact of flooding. It can include construction of dams, embankment, flood control channel, etc. Now let's come to the next slide. That water pollution, some concept regarding water pollution. Let's discuss. So friends, regarding water pollution, so see, there is an act, right? So the water act, that is called Water Act 1974, basically Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. So this was the first legislative measure taken to directly address the issue of water pollution and conservation. So it is a law introduced in India to tackle the problem of water pollution and promote conservation effort. It was the first official measure taken by the government to address the issue of water pollution. The act lays down guidelines and regulation for the prevention and control of water pollution, as well as the conservation and proper utilization of water resources. So this is about this act, Water Act 1974. Okay, so you can call it Water Prevention and Control Act 1974 in nutshell, or you can call it Water Act 1974. Both means the same. Okay, so basically this act lays down the guidelines and regulation. Next point is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. What it does? It establishes the CPCB. CPCB, Central and State Pollution Control Board at the national level and State Pollution Control Board at the state level. See, this CPCB is at the central level, and SCB, which is called state SPCB. Sorry, SPCB is called State Pollution Control Board at the state level, as the name suggests, right? So CPCB is at the central level and SPCB as the state level. Now what are the functions? So basically these boards are responsible for overseeing and implementing measures to prevent and control water pollution, right? So the main function is control of water pollution. So they regulate industries, monitor water quality, and enforce pollution control standard to ensure that water bodies are not polluted beyond permissible limit. Fine. Now let's talk about communication infrastructure. So let's talk about this communication infrastructure. It refers to the system and network that enable the exchange of information and facilitate communication between people. It includes various components that support communication services such as postal service, telephone network, television, etc. in detail. So basically, what does it include? We have talked about. So what are the government initiatives? So government initiative to boost communication, like Indian government has implemented several initiatives to enhance communication infrastructure throughout the country. This initiative aim to improve connectivity, expand access to communication service, and promote digital inclusion. So you can see some of the examples which is given regarding initiative taken by the central government to boost communication infrastructure. The first example, let's talk about FDI cap. Okay, BharatNet, Digital India, mobile network expansion, digital payment. These are some of the initiative. Now let's talk about FDI cap. So FDI, you know what is the meaning of this FDI? FDI stands for foreign direct investment. So which it refers to the investment made by the foreign company or individual into the economy of another country. So this FDI cap represents the maximum percentage of ownership that foreign entity can have in a particular sector. So it what is the meaning of this FDI cap? It means that the maximum percentage of ownership that a foreign entity can have in a particular sector. So in this case, the telecom sector, in the case of telecom sector, the government has increased the FDI cap to 100% from 74%. So this means foreign company can now have complete ownership in the foreign company can have complete ownership in the Indian telecom company. So let's take an example. A foreign company can now invest in an entire Indian telecom company without any restriction on their ownership percentage. So there is no restriction on the ownership percentage. It can invest in and on an entire Indian telecom company without any restriction. So now let's see in 2020 what happened in 2020. So let's see, the government approved the production PLI. You know PLI. So this is called production incentive scheme. So it is a scheme introduced by the government to encourage large scale manufacturing of electronic product in India. Okay. So large scale electronic manufacturing of electronic product. So this scheme provide incentive such as financial support and tax benefit to attract investment and promote the production of electronic good within the country. So this scheme aim to boost domestic manufacturing. Okay. So what does it boost? It boosts domestic manufacturing and this and create employment opportunity and reduce dependence on imported electronic product. So under the PLI scheme, what happened? This is called production link incentive scheme. Company manufacturing a smartphone, tablets, and other electronic device in India, it receive incentive from the government to encourage their production within the country. Now let's see the next part, Tarang Sanchar. So basically Department of Telecommunications, in short we call it DOT. So this has introduced a web portal known as Tarang Sanchar. This portal serves as a platform to provide information and it ensures compliance with the regulation related to the mobile tower and electromagnetic field emission. So this portal share detail about the location of mobile tower, the companies operating them, who operate this company, mobile tower location, okay, and also the level of EMF emission. What is the level of EMF emission? It also tells. So the government has approved a project at the cost of 20,000 crore for NOFN. What is this? So government has given approval for a project with budget of 20,000 crore. So 20,000 crore budget is there for National Optical Fiber Network. So this project aims to connect villages and remote area across the country with high speed internet access through optical fiber cable. So by laying down a vast network of fiber optic cable, the government intends to bridge the digital divide and enable internet connectivity in rural and undeserved area. Right. So now let's talk about the critical infrastructure. So what are the critical infrastructure? So it refers to the asset and system that are essential for functioning. So critical infrastructure refers to the asset and system that are critical for the functioning and well-being of country, economy and society. So its example include electricity generation, transmission and distribution. So the power generating plant, transmission line, distribution network that provide electricity to home, businesses, industry. So next is gas production, transport. So gas production and transport, the facilities and the facilities and pipeline involve extracting and transporting natural gas. So you know natural gas is used for heating, cooling and as fuel and as fuel source in various industry. It is crucial for functioning of homes, businesses and industry that rely on its energy. Next is telecommunication network. So friends, this was all about the unit part 1 lecture. Part 2 lecture is available to the paid member. If you are interested in such plan, kindly WhatsApp on this number. I will provide you the detail. And please install our app, which is JIB and CIB Made Simple. Okay, we are daily providing you free quizzes which you can attempt and boost your preparation for upcoming JIB and CIB examination. So this is the app name. You can just search in the Google Play Store, or you can just click on the link which I have provided in the description section. So you can do either of them and you will be directed to that particular app. So thank you for listening this lesson. Do subscribe our channel to get such notification for such type of videos. Thank you.